So make sure that whatever you degree you pick, make sure that either you get all the knowledge. So why it matters? People pay $62,000 for a degree. This is more of an education point for everybody else. I got my master's from a phenomenal school in Florida, the national average being 4.1. In tech, my master's while in the military, so it set me up for success. Is that if you're using your GI Bill for a master's degree, but I realized that it really didn't add up to dollars. You guys to understand the current job crisis, right? 5.8 unemployment versus, so first of all, is degree equals security? How is that gonna guarantee it if the cost average is 62,000 and the ROI is spotty? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Financial Enabler Podcast. Super pumped to be here with you guys. I wanted to start with reminding you to please, wherever you are, phone, computer, whatever, hit your subscribe, and that way you people can know about what we're doing here. This place is awesome, and we're here to give people a ton of value. So super glad to have you guys here. And I'm going to talk about a really sensitive subject for a lot of service members, for a lot of people, but it really doesn't apply to service members. This is more of an education point for everybody else. So the question is a master's degree worth the debt? And what Gen Z struggles to teach you, right? So this is important. So a lot of people are jumping in to get into a master's, especially MBAs, right? And a lot of people are assuming debt for this. So right now, the Gen Z master's degrees grads face a 5.8 unemployment rate, which is nearly double what happened last year and above the national average, okay? I can provide you guys all the data if you wanna see this. So why it matters? People pay $62,000 for a degree. Shouldn't you be guaranteed success, right? And this is the point that this ties to service members and veterans is that if you're using your GI Bill for a master's degree to then go face a 5.8 unemployment rate, I'm not saying that it's catastrophic, but it's a matter of you needing to be aware of it, okay? So I want you guys to understand the current job crisis, right? 5.8 unemployment versus the national average being 4.1. In tech, some master's holders hold up to 7.2%. So this is largely due to the AI disruption. And one thing that I'm a firm believer with AI is that artificial intelligence, at the end of the day, is artificial. It will not replace all jobs. It will not replace all skill sets. But those people in business and in life that don't master AI are falling behind, right? Obviously, I cannot record this podcast with AI. Well, I guess I could, but then it wouldn't have the touch. You guys wouldn't know that I'm real. So it's important to be aware of that. And I want to point out that I have my own master's, right? I got my master's from a phenomenal school in Florida. And when I graduated, I was like, man, what am I going to do with this? You know, the jobs are there, but it really didn't line up, right? I did finish my master's while in the military, so it set me up for success. But I realized that it really didn't add up to dollars. It really didn't add up to freedom, okay? So I want to debunk some common myths, right? So first of all, is degree equals security? How is that going to guarantee it if the cost average is 62,000 and the ROI is spotty? Right? So right now, that is like, you're going to buy a house and you're like, I don't know what the return is going to be. It's going to be lower than expected. Would you really jump into it? I want you guys to think about that, the downside of it. Okay. So be aware when you choose the master's program. And this is important. And this is shout out to sit reps and steercos. Having the right master's program for your plan is key. So more education means a better career. That's another myth. So entry-level jobs are dying up. Degrees alone aren't enough. That is a limitation, right? So I want you to think of the book, Think and Grow Rich, which I have it right back here, right? That belief without action is totally useless, right? A lot of people jump into the degree, they pay a ton of money, they get the network and do nothing, right? Education without application means nothing, right? So make sure that whatever degree you pick, make sure that either you get all the knowledge that you want, the network you want, or gather the skills that you will need in order to get into the workforce, okay? This is the other thing, specialize early. Not all fields deliver, like biomed beats theater, right? So specialization is not always something that needs to happen first. And I'll go back to a book, Lead Like a Marine. They talk about specialization as something that is crucial, but it must happen after initial training, okay? So if you're going to specialize in something, you got to start with the basics. Compounding matters even in knowledge. You got to start early. You got to start understanding how it's going to make you better and help you grow. Because if not, where are you going to end up? You got to specialize, you got to have the basics. So make sure that you have the right basics in order to build upon it. And a lot of people get these degrees hoping to get this awesome job, but then they're nowhere near, right? So debt. So debt for school is different than the other debt. At the end of the day, it's the same debt. So now I'm trying this new 2-camera setup. So let me know what you guys think, right? So any debt can trap you. Time is your rarest currency. Okay. So I want you guys to think about this. Value time over your credentials. Is your degree going to get you more time? Is your degree going to get you more experience? Is your degree going to get you more opportunities? If the answer is no, or you doubt it, then why are you doing it? You got to go into it. And that is something I wish I would have analyzed, right? I know that my math at that point, it was the right decision. And then fast forward, it wasn't, because I didn't have all the cards in front of me. Once I had them, I changed my mind. Okay. So take into those myths and understand them, how they're going to play into your life, how they may allow you or may not allow you to get to the life that you truly want. A lot of people rush to it for nothing. Again, choosing the right school definitely plays a role. In my perspective on MBAs, I'm not going to say that this is for everybody. This is my opinion. Like I said, I got my degree from Florida State. I have some great connections from Instituto de Empresas, who's one of the best MBAs in Europe. And what I realized is that oftentimes you're just buying the network. And do you want that network? Are you sure you want it? I just met with a young man today, a ranger, that wants to go to University of Houston because he wants to get into oil. That, to me, makes sense. I don't know anything about University of Houston. I don't know anything about the oil industry, but it seems to be legit for him. So how do you evaluate? I'm going to give you some tools so you guys can decide on it. So it's going to be 4 steps. 1, define your goal. Clarify intent behind the education. Do you just want a master's because it's cool? Do you want a master's just for the title? Do you want to prove your mom something? Is it really worth it? Why go get an MBA from a bunch of business people that don't own businesses? Is that really what you want? So analyze this. Understand the value added to you, your life, and your family. Once you're very clear on that, then you can make the decision. Think and Grow Rich always talks about that. You must have a clear, definite goal. You got to go into it with the end in mind. And then crunch out the ROI, the return on investment. Use cost calculators. Understand the cost of your degree. So I chose Florida State for a series of things, but on top of that was that I had to pay out of pocket. So I chose the degree that I could afford to pay out of pocket while still in school and leaving out my GI Bill for my children. That was the play that I felt was best for me. So for me, the ROI on Florida State was phenomenal. Okay, so make sure you understand on that. And then add opportunity costs. Seek the real world income or side gigs. So for example, for me, entrepreneurship is the way. I want freedom. I don't want a boss. I don't want to ask for time off. I don't want to have to tell people when I want to go in or not go in. So for me, the MBA really didn't play into it. I wanted to go into entrepreneurship right now. And that's the big game changer, realizing the freedom that I have with entrepreneurship. Then on top of the opportunity cost, with Florida State, I missed out on some key networks, right? Such as University of Florida, University of North Carolina, or a lot of my friends that went to University of Southern California. So understand the opportunity cost, the degree that you pick, and how it will affect your life. And then vet the industry. So talk to the insiders, get into the mentors. A lot of the programs that I've done, to include the Honor Foundation, shout out to them, is that there's ways for you to talk to people in these industries to understand how the career is going to be, how it will feel, how the work will be like, how the compensation will be like, and figure out if it's worth your time. Vet the industry. For me, finance is the way, but I don't know what you guys are going to pick. Okay. So I'm gonna give you an example. I know a veteran who nearly started a master's education, but instead used that time to build a side gig, paying off all his debt faster, right? I see this all the time. People that are like, you know what? I'm not going to school. I'm just going to go in my 4 years. I'm going to get into the workforce. I'm going to network super hard. And those people end up with a better position than a lot of MBAs, better position than other degrees. Obviously, there's degrees in career fields that are degree limited, like law school, like being an a tax planner. So understand that. So understand how you may need that skill, but it may not be the best way to get into the business that you want to get into. A lot of people just hustle, grind, network, and make it. I trust that you guys can do it. And if you guys want resources on networking, send them your LinkedIn, let me know. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Degrees aren't worthless. but they're tools, not the golden ticket. Get into understanding how you create your own golden ticket. So many people did. Both Charles Schwab's did. Yeah, there's two of them. You can do it as well. So make sure you check out the Instagram reel where I break down these myths. I give it to you guys down low. And if you like this, shoot me a DM, ask me some questions. We're going to YouTube, podcast. Make sure you follow and subscribe. Love being here with you guys, and we're going to keep putting up some good content. Let's go.